Damn it, damn it, damn it. Right. Shit. Not get too far. Yeah, it went too far. Hello. Okay, we're back. Sorry, guys. Sorry, I went too far. Like, I overestimated my Wi-Fi signal. I really, yeah, yeah. I overestimated my Wi-Fi signal. But the sun was going to be in the way anyway because the sun's coming up from this side, so y'all really couldn't see it. But I wanted to show you guys how the house looks when they build it. Please hit the like as you enter. Sorry, you guys, running around with this iPad and stuff like that. So, everybody's back. Okay. All right. Thank you for coming back, people. Thank you for coming back. I overestimated my Wi-Fi range, but my Wi-Fi range is pretty far. It is pretty far. I went almost 2 blocks down down the street from the house. But yeah, so basically the housing thing in Japan is you got to get used to. My house is actually pretty big. There's 5 of us that live here. It took me a while to find a house this big for this price point. I pay 100,000 yen a month for rent, which is $1,000 a month, and my expenses and everything like that. You know what I'm saying? So my expenses and everything uh, is uh, is that way too. Also, um, hey, somebody go in the back cave and tell Azula we back. I had to restart the stream. Somebody go in the back cave. That's what we're gonna call it, the back cave. So somebody go to the back cave and drop that. You know what I'm saying? Let her know we're back. But yeah, like far as all of that, you the ugly is the winter time and the summertime. The thing about Japan is now the newer houses are getting better with the insulation, but the ugly is if it's cold. It's colder in the house during the winter time than it is outside, and it's hotter in the house than it is outside. And the reason they don't put as much insulation is because there are earthquakes. There are earthquakes a lot of earthquakes, small earthquakes, big earthquakes. They just had a big earthquake a couple of weeks ago in Sapporo. Big earthquake, and then they had one in Osaka earlier this year. They had one in another place. So this place is really susceptible for earthquakes. Yes, it does. My prefixture, yeah, no. So does it stick? Yeah. Um, does it stick? Yes. But when you go to the northern parts, it snows like snow. So Japan is about Japan is on length. Japan is about the size of like the length of like the East Coast of the United States or California, right? And then you would have like Sapporo's the size of Texas, maybe I think, and Okinawa is the size of Hawaii. So there you go. Relationships in Japan. Okay, good, bad, and ugly. Okay, relationships in Japan. I can't. I can just tell you from what I observed. My wife is not. My wife is not. She's not fully Japanese. My wife is, she is Scottish and Japanese. So my wife, she kind of brings 2 cultures, 3 cultures together. So it brings the Japanese culture. She brings the Scottish culture to English culture to a certain degree because she was in England up until she was 6. Her dad is Scottish, uh, and so she brings a traditional culture in Japan and stuff like that. And the neighborhood in which she lived in and the area she lived in, it was a very deep Latino neighborhood. They had a lot of Latinos in her neighborhood, and they still do to this day. A lot of Brazilians, Peruvians, and Colombians. So a lot of her friends were those people. You know what I mean? So she has a mixture. She can speak Spanish fluently and a little bit of Portuguese and stuff like that. So it really is. You know what I mean? So far as relationships are concerned, I can just tell you from my experience of watching and observing people. Sorry, there's something in my eye, and I can't stand it. Something about something in my eye just gets me. Um, hit the likes as you enter. Thank you. Please repost the links if you can for your channels and stuff like that. Sorry about that. I miscalculated the distance from my house walking down the street on the live streams. Um, all right, yeah, Zul's back. Yeah. Relationships. What I've noticed, Japanese people are very, very conservative with their feelings in relationships. They're not like us where they're outwardly showing of their feelings, and it's a lot of guesswork. You know what I'm saying? You have to guess certain things. For us, which is, we're used to being opinionated. Even if we're quiet, our body language will show how we're really feeling. But with them, it's kind of like, like it's up and down and straight, and it takes a lot for them to share those feelings. You know what I'm saying? Especially in public. You when I first got here, you would see the girls and the boys go out, like even the young men and the young ladies would go out, and they would be in groups, and you wouldn't really know who was with who. This newer generation is getting more. You see more holding hands in public and stuff like that. But before, you didn't. It was more conservative when I first got to Japan, and that was like back in 2002. So just maybe a couple of. I started noticing another 3 years. 3 years ago, they started getting more expressive in public with their emotions and feelings. Um, it's their relationships is everything's cool till you Japanese relationships is everything's cool till you get married. All right, so when you get married, and it's relatively true, but it's kind of they kind of go like back in the day when you talk about marriage. When they get married, usually the wife will work to a certain once she has maybe the second child. They usually have the kids right behind each other. Once she has the second child, she's not working anymore. The man is solely going to work himself. uh, and then once the kids get to, I would say, second grade, then she'll work with just a part-time job. You know what I'm saying? So that that's how that works. That's how that works. I think something in my eyes, the light gleaming off of it. I don't know. So that's how that works. The next thing is, um, far as if you're talking about dating a Japanese person, male or female, you usually see men mainly dating Japanese women. Japanese males are more inclined to Japanese females, but they do date or they do marry what they would consider you, or what they would say, a foreigner. But from what I've noticed, that it doesn't really work out that well, because Japanese men are very authoritarian. So if you're not used to that type of lifestyle, you're going to have some issues. Japan is a very authoritative place. So that's the good, the bad, and the ugly. And I would say, from the women's perspective, as in the rise of Western culture, women are getting voices and they're being heard. So in Japan, it's very male. It's a ridiculously male driven society. Just like, I'm not even gonna sugarcoat it for you. So, and they don't hide it either. If you say, "Hey, why are you doing this?" Like, females and males should be equal, and they'll look at you like, "No, they shouldn't. You're a woman. I'm a man. I run things." Like, even in their even in their language, women have to speak in a different octave. They like if they'd have different words that men can use, quote unquote, the verbal choke chain that will make a woman come to heel. So you have to really understand what you're getting yourself into, the good, the bad, and the ugly about Japan. Um, for a woman's perspective, that's where it comes down to. So if you're very opinionated, it's going to be very hard for you. One is going to be hard for you to find a mate, uh, j- find a mate, because 98% of the population is Japanese. Two, you're a woman, so you have to compete with all of these other Japanese women that are already there. So you have to find someone for you. I'm like, it takes some scrubbing through and stuff. But a lot of the females that are over here, that are foreigners, usually end up with foreign men. Like they usually end up with other foreign men that are here. They'll date a Japanese person or something like that. But if the Japanese man didn't live in another country for a while and moved back to Japan, and they used to dating those type of women, a regular Japanese man, nah, they're very authoritative. So that's that on that. About relationships, you know what I'm saying? I'll do something deep about that at another stream, you know what I'm saying? Uh you know what I'm saying? Hey, what's up, Jay Sean? What's going on? Oh, actually, it's 8 o'clock, man. 8 o'clock in the morning. 8 o'clock in the morning on Tuesday. What's going on? Okay, so what's the most popular sport in Japan? Um, Most popular sport in Japan. It depends. But the most popular sport in Japan is between football, aka soccer, or baseball. They love some baseball. They love some soccer. Then you have sumo, but that's a national sport. And then you have the martial arts and stuff like that. But if you're if you're talking about it's soccer, and sumo, and then then you would go into your sports. But then if you talk about the sports, like you would talk about boxing, but it's really MMA, and then everything else falls into place. After that, they go ham. Like baseball games ain't like it is in the states. You know what I'm saying? Where, yo, you hit a home run and everybody, nah, they going all the way live the whole time. They beat these little things together, and most of their baseball stadiums are in domes because it rains a lot and stuff like that. Baseball season is pretty short. It's not as long as it is in the U.S. They got teams and stuff like that. Basketball's coming up too. Basketball's pretty cool, but it's not as it's not as it's not as hot as, but it's baseball and soccer. They got their own J League and stuff like that, but baseball and stuff like that. Um, let's see, most popular sport. What are the most common martial arts? You got the different forms of karate. The most prevalent is the Okinawan karate is the most deadly. Uh, you just if you there's like dojos all around here. There's like a little karate dojo, but it's not like the traditional thing that we used to, with it's like the floors and the dudes and nah, like dojos. You know what I mean? Because Japan's space is small, so it's very hard. You know what I'm saying? Like you're not gonna be in a big dojo. Dojos are here, knick-knack, and there. But I would say if you're talking about traditional martial arts, I would say you got Shotokan karate. You have the other karate. They do tournaments where they hit each other from here down, where they just in there just throwing, kicking, and stuff like that. Um, you have sumo, but you gotta be bred for that. You know what I mean? You gotta be a certain girth and size, and you gotta eat. If you go watch and see what those guys go through to get that big, you know what I mean? They ain't just fat, like them dudes are muscle. You know what I mean? And they gotta eat a certain traditional way and do a certain traditional thing. Um, but Aikido. Now the thing is, I like Aikido because I'm getting older. I ain't got time to be playing with you. You know what I'm saying? Not that anything's bad going to happen to me in Japan, but I just like to stay, cause you know what I'm saying, I used to wrestle in high school and stuff like that. I'm more of a combat sports type of person, so I want to go somewhere where I can learn some Aikido, and the Aikido Federation is actually in Tokyo, and I am so far away from it, and I have not found any good Aikido schools that I would like to go to, cause I just love Aikido. They just, you know what I'm saying, like somebody grab you or you get into a fight or something like that, and, you know, ain't nobody got time for it. But Aikido, mixed martial arts is really prevalent now. Mixed martial arts is really the thing that everybody's going to. It's more mixed martial arts gyms now, notoriety because of Pride and K1 and the UFC and stuff. Kickboxing gyms, Muay Thai fighting, because you know traditional martial arts. Unless you're using the traditional style where everything goes, you poke somebody in the eye, and hit, you know what I mean. The stuff that we know about is like Karate Kid, like that's competition, that's a sport. Martial arts is meant to hurt somebody and defend you. You know what I mean? It's not no fight. It's we're throwing these hands. So people like mixed martial arts because mixed martial arts is more akin to everyday life of fighting in the street. There's kind of no rules. You know what I'm saying? Jay Sean, man. Yeah, man, sumo matches, man. Sumo matches. I gotta the crazy thing, man, I do have a bucket list. I have not there's a lot of things in Japan you think I would have saw and seen and I haven't seen it. Like I have not went to a sumo match. I've watched them on TV. Actually, the day my son was born, they had the sumo championships. There's one sumo wrestler. He's actually Mongol. He's a Mongol sumo wrestler. And I love this dude so much. Like, I really got into sumo watching this dude because he was big, but he was strong, but he wasn't like just blubberly fat. Like he looked like he just, what I'm saying, he looked like a strong man, like a power lifter. But that dude was fast and he had technique and, he taught mad stuff, which you ain't supposed to do in sumo, but he still taught mad stuff now. So I like that dude. How many different forms of karate? Man, there's a lot, man. There's a lot. Hey, Gigi, what's going on? There is a lot. There is a lot. There's about, off the top of my head, I would say there's about 10 main different forms of karate, and then you have your little branch forms off of those, like there used to be a form of that, just like kung fu. You know what I mean? There's the 10 main forms of kung fu, and then you have your branch forms and your different styles and stuff like that. So let me see. Let me see. Find the JoJo that Akira Sensei teaches. Yeah, I'm like, that's what I'm saying. Like, where I live at, it's like the next, like, there's a mixed martial arts gym around the corner from my house. There's a whole bunch of them things. Like, you just trip over the things. But Aikido is hard to find unless you're in Tokyo. They have association and stuff like that. And you can't just, like, go in there and just, like, be an Aikido. You know what I mean? You got to be accepted and all this other stuff. So, which is not cool. Which is cool. Like you can actually come. See, there's another thing people don't know. You can actually come to Japan or go to China, and go to Taiwan or go to these places, and you can actually put in for a visa to be a student. Like there's a lot of people that do that. Like they come to Japan and they want to learn Aikido or Ninjutsu. They actually, a couple of Ninjutsu schools, Bushido schools, the way of the sword, like actually teach you how to draw your sword, be a samurai and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So, there's a whole bunch of other stuff, how to do things the right way. You know what I'm saying? I said, how is shopping in Japan? Shopping in Japan. Okay, so shopping in Japan is depending on what you want to get. Now, you'll probably come over here and think, like, oh, man, electronics is cheap. No, they're not. No, they're not. Like depending on where you're at, no, they're not. Like, you have to go to a certain district to get things cheap. Now, the good thing is if you're visiting or something like that, you can use the duty free, which you basically don't pay any tax. So you just show your passport, if it says duty free, just like in the airport. But depending on certain things, shopping is cheap and not cheap. Like electronics is not cheap. You would think so, but it's not. Right? Jordans are not cheap. They make them things in China, so they're not cheap. Everybody, I get that from. Hey man, they make Jordans over there, man. Yo, if I give you some money, man, you get me some. No, it's more expensive. They cheaper there in the states. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Whatever. But certain things are cheap. Like man. Like if you collect, Asian like dishware. Like if you collect uh, plates, bowls, eating traditional food. Like people that like to eat sushi, I go to the 100 yen round and round sushi place, which is like if you translate that over like 1 to 1, that's $1. But the quality of food is like the same quality as your high end sushi restaurant on the low end sushi restaurant. Uh, things can be really expensive and really cheap, but but for women, man, just like anywhere else, man. Y'all go shopping, man. Y'all. My wife takes like $100 and go shopping. She come back with bags. I take $100 and go shopping. I come back with maybe a shirt and a pair of pants. So in Shibuya, they have this building called the 109, right? Ichimaru, right? And that building, like if you ever see the Shibuya crossing, right? There's the big crossing, what they call a scramble. All these people cross the street, and if you look at a picture there, it says 109 on the left side of that picture, and on the left side of that picture, that floor is like 7 to 8 floors of just women's shoes. And then they have the Parco building, and then they have the men's 109, which is just for the men's, but everything else is pretty much dedicated to women. So y'all can just go ham. They got shoes that cost a lot. Plus, Harajuku is the fashion area. So if you ever see like, anything on any brand name stuff where they say New York, LA, Paris, or London. When they mean Tokyo, they mean Harajuku. Harajuku is the fashion area where people make clothes. Like, there's so many fashion designers down there. So you could go down there to the boutiques. There's like special, limited edition stuff. So yeah. Yeah, so there's limited edition stuff. How much do cars cost in Japan? That's what. You know, you gonna have to bring your own, Jay Sean. We ain't even going to extend that, man. You already know why. We ain't even going to extend that. You gonna have to bring your own. This car hard to find. You had to, you go ahead. Yeah, you gonna be in there. Woo. Yes, they ain't even a tight fit. Like, what I'm saying. You can't even get the head in, bro. That's the best thing I can tell you, man. Can't even get the head. You got to bring your own, bro. You got to bring your own. You got to bring your own, man. You got to bring your own, fam. You know what I'm saying. It's gonna be like a tourniquet. It's gonna be like a tourniquet. It's gonna be like a tourniquet, bro. It's gonna be like a tourniquet, homie. It's gonna be like a tourniquet, homie. It's gonna be like a tourniquet, man. Yeah, don't even. Whoo. Hey, man. Hey, yeah. Because that's why I'm here. No, I'm joking, man. I'm joking. Man. Why you think they always tying somebody up and doing some extra stuff? So anyway, that's part of the good, the bad, the ugly, right? Wow, why the view count just went up like that? Okay. Hey, that's why they tying people up and stuff, man. They gotta make up for something, man. They gotta make up for something, right? Oh man, but yeah. So what I'll do is right now to say, we're gonna open this up for questions. Ask all the questions that you want. You know what I'm saying, and I'll answer. You know what I'm saying, I'll answer very nicely. Sun is cascading on my face very nicely. You know what I mean, not like yesterday. Hold on, let me turn it this way a little bit so you'll get the glare. You know what I'm saying? Sun is cascading. Look at the sky. The sky is looking beautiful. I might take me a hike today. Thinking about it. Yeah, I might do it. Or tomorrow. I don't know. I'm not sure. What do y'all guys think? Should I take a hike today? Um, uh, yeah. Should I take a hike today? All right. So you see up here in this area up there, that right there, where the trees are at, that up there is the ruins of a castle, and that's a hiking trail. I'm thinking, should I go today or whatever? I'm not sure. I got things to do, but it's a nice day. You know how you get nice days, they too far and in between. Yep. Still to do the Lord's work. Yeah, I think yeah, I should do it. You know what I'm saying? Was like, my computer went down, so I'm just waiting to get my computer so I can really do it. But I might as well just go. You know what I'm saying? I might as well just go. Do some blogging, put together a little quick video for you guys, and just put it up there so y'all can see it. And just put it out there so y'all can see it. I'm a live stream one day from up there. I'm just gonna have to wake up at like 5:30 in the morning so I can get up there and get set up and get a nice spot. You know what I'm saying? So I can get a nice spot up there. They got benches and stuff, but you know what I'm saying. I'll go up there and show y'all. You know what I'm saying, the area and stuff like that. So man, what's up with the questions? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, Jay Sean, you gotta come over here and save them, man. You gotta say. Yeah, exactly. Nah, well, I'm usually up. I'm usually up around like 5:30, 6 o'clock anyway. But it's insomnia, man. You know that prime military, man. You got to get up. 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 Got to get up. Yeah, yeah. A lot of people don't know. I first came to Japan in 2002. I was in the Navy. I was actually 2 years in the Navy. I was stationed in Norfolk, Virginia, and then Then I got stationed in Japan, and then I stayed in the Navy until December '07. Went back home after I got out because once you get out the military, if you're overseas, they'll ship you back home first. I got out. I stayed home until January. Um, no, February. First week of February '08. I flew back, and the next time I went back home was 2 years ago for my birthday, September of 2016. So, now before that, between 2002 and 2007, the next time I went home was like in 2004, and that's when my uncle passed. But so I've been in Japan for. I've been in Japan since 2002. So I've been in Japan for like 16 years. So basically, when I turned 40, I've been in Japan. I've been outside of the country as long as I've been living in the country. So it had been 20 years. I was 20 years old when I left, and I haven't lived in the U.S. since I've been 20. So, that's I've been living outside of Japan in the States. Now, when I was in the military, I really don't consider that living in Japan because I wasn't really here. I was always gone. So I was like everywhere else. Like I was in Australia and Thailand and India and like Dubai and, China and Hong Kong. I've been to Hong Kong like 14 times, been to Macau 14 times. Uh, been to Vietnam twice, been to Cambodia once, been to Thailand 4 times, been to Bali once, been to Singapore 6 times, been to Korea about 18 times, been to Australia 4 times. Yeah, been to New Caledonia once, which is an island above Australia. Um, let's see. Been to India like 4 times. Been to Bahrain like 4 times. Been to Dubai 3 times. Been to Seychelles once. Been to Kenya once. Um, and then Spain, England twice, Spain 3 times, Malta twice, Italy like 6 times, Greece once, Turkey twice, Kosovo once, Russia once, Hawaii twice. Um, yeah, and then let's see, been to the islands in the Caribbean because multiple islands. I haven't been to the Virgin Islands and I have not been to Trinidad and Tobago, but I've been everywhere else. Been to Brazil, been to Colombia, never went to Argentina, been to Guyana, um, been to South Africa, so been to Iceland, been to Greenland, uh, yeah, I've been to a lot of places. I've been to more places outside of the U.S. than I've been in the U.S. So my bucket list is to go to New Zealand, and that's on the bucket list. And to actually venture more mainland into China, just what I mean, just to say I've seen it, and to hit some countries that I normally never been to. I've been to Tunisia. I've been to Northern Africa. I've been to Egypt. Like I said, um, say Seychelles is a bucket list. That's a wonderful place to go. Wonderful people. I was there. Very great people. I hear say, yes. Singapore is super clean. Like, Japan is clean, but Singapore is like ridiculously clean. Like Singapore, I would say on the way of cleanliness, Singapore is like your grandmother's living room with the plastic on the couch. That's how what I'm saying. That's how Singapore is. Singapore is really that clean. Very nice. They keep the place really clean, nice. It's expensive. It is expensive, but very nice. But if you want to be in Singapore, but you don't want to pay the expenses, Malaysia. Everybody chooses to go to Malaysia. So Singapore is like New York, L.A. on steroids. Like it's very expensive. But Malaysia, you get the same thing, but it's cheaper. It's cheaper. So, but go to both. Go to both. Go to both. Yeah, go to both. No, it's just the world is 75% water. I found that out in the Navy too. So 75% water, 25% land. Yes, man. People don't know about the Seychelles, man. Seychelles is a hidden jewel, man. They be going everywhere else. Seychelles is wonderful. You know what I'm saying? Wonderful. Especially that cocoa rum, man. The cocoa rum is on point. Cocoa rum is on point. You know what I'm saying? Wonderful people, man. Wonderful food. Yeah, yeah. People. Yeah, I had some friends that go to Gambia. A lot of people moving to Gambia. And what is it? Botswana. They go like everybody's going back to Africa. They doing this going back to Africa movement. Everybody just going to Ghana and Nigeria, and it's like more countries in Africa than there. That what I'm saying. But hey, to each his own. To each his own. Do you, do you. You know what I'm saying. Um, uh, what I mean. People, I met a lot of people from Kenya and Ethiopia. Very nice people, very wonderful people, very wonderful people. But from Ghana, like how is he? How is he? Like, it's a big African community around here. Um, so it's a lot of Nigerians. It's a lot of people from Ghana. It's a lot of people from Botswana, from Kenya, from Ethiopia. Um, Senegal. It's a lot of people from Senegal. Got a lot of good friends from Senegal. Really nice, hardworking people. Really nice, hardworking people. Um, a lot of people from Tunisia. A lot of people from Egypt. That are here. A lot of people from Iran. I met a lot of people from Iran, from Pakistan. A lot of people. Another misnomer, like a lot of people get people from Nepal mixed up with people that are from actually India. There's a big difference between people from India and Nepal. Nepal people are very, very, very nice, and Indian people are nice, but is touch and go sometimes. The younger generation of people in India are more welcoming. The older generation, especially the men, are more rigid. But people from Nepal all the way around are really nice, really nice. Oh yeah, man. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You go to Mongolia in 2021? Yeah, man. Yeah, yeah. Mongolia. You got to get it, bro. You got to get it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Nepalese are very well mannered, very nice people, very nice people. Actually, I do like their curry. Like Nepalese curry is, to me, Nepalese curry is I don't know. It's kind of more like it's Indian curry is good, but when it's spicy, it's like it's just hot, right? And I like Thai curry because Thai curry warms you up. It's spicy, but it warms you up. You know what I'm saying? It's like detoxing you at the same time, but it's still that flavor there. It's still the taste there. It's hot, but it's what I mean. It's spicy, right? The Pauli's curry is always like it's the right nice of spice, but it's like you can get it sweet, you can get it mild. It kind of reminds me of the Caribbean curry more than the Indian curry. You know what I'm saying? I'm thinking, what I mean, like it kind of reminds me more of that than the Indian curry. Indian curry to me is good, but it's just, you know. And speaking of which, we got nothing but Indian curry restaurants. But the crazy part about it is a lot of the Indian curry restaurants, half of them are actually Nepalese restaurants. So there's a difference. There's like a big difference. There's a big difference. First week in July, they may have a festival in Mongolia. Yeah, Chinese New Year's. Mongolia had a festival and stuff like that, man. Definitely check that out, man. And go ahead and swing down to swing over to Macau, man. Swing over to Macau. Done with you, Jay Shot. I'm done with you, man. Don't be over there doing that, man. Don't be up there. Can I have the knife, please? No, man. Don't. All right, man. If y'all don't know what we talking about the Golden Child. We talking about the Golden Child. We talking about the Golden Child. Jay Shot, you ain't not, man. You tripping, man. You tripping. You tripping. Jay Shy, boy. You know what I'm saying? Hey, that's some 80s baby humor right there. 80s baby humor right there. Uh, yeah, the movie. Yeah, Deion Oz the movie. You know what I'm saying? The movie. Yeah, Eddie Murphy, the Golden Child. Yeah, right. Hey, Jay Shot, don't be going to Mongolia looking for the chick behind the little screen, the half serpent chick. Don't be looking for the chick behind the screen. Yeah, so yeah, go ahead and ask some questions, y'all. We're gonna open up the floor, ask some questions. Um, you know what I'm saying? Ask some questions. Let's get it in. I appreciate everybody coming through. Hit the likes as you enter. Hit the likes as you enter. Please support everybody that's in the chat. You know what I'm saying? Throw some shout outs to, I want the Kung Fu chick. I know, right? You know what I'm saying? So let's support people. Shout out to the Information Man Show for showing up, showing some love. Said it's you know what I'm saying? Showing some love. Do a roll call real quick. Jay Sean Randoms. Thala, Parchment. Leon Oz is in the building here. Hit that like button. Zero Calvin came through, showed some love. Who else we got in here? Shadow DO87. He's in the building. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? The whole, you know what I'm saying? Everybody's in the building. I'm sorry that the first stream dropped down. I was trying to show y'all something. I got too far away. At any time, brother, anytime. Check out the channel. Yes, there you go, Zero Calvin. Please, mods, drop the channel information so we can get these subs up for everybody that's showing some love in the comment section. Please hit the like, smash that like button as you enter. All right, so we got a question. Okay, we got it from Thalia. If you get tired of Japan, where would you want to live next? The first place I actually been to outside of Japan, what I would consider overseas is Europe, and I like Europe because I'm on an island, so there's only but so much you can do in Europe. You can go anywhere you want, and so I want to be able to move and do some things. You know what I'm saying? Now, if you hear that in the background, that little sound, it sounds like it sounds like an ice cream truck. I'm gonna show you what it really is. It's the trash truck. Yeah, it had the same look too. Uh-huh. Had the same look when I actually ran out the house one day. I was living with my roommate. My first place in Japan, I was living with my roommate. And I ran out there, I'm thinking ice cream, man. And I think I told you guys this on the last stream. And it was a trash truck, and they was all laughing at me. Hey, welcome to Japan. Yeah, play music. Yeah, play music. You know what I'm saying? Unless you know, it's too late. You ain't put that music out. Hey, I thought it was the ice cream truck. You know what I'm saying? They trying to be respectful because the trash trucks are loud. When the trash truck come through your neighborhood, it's loud, so they play the music, they drown it out because they don't want to disturb you with the sound. Yeah, that's the good part about Japan. They're very super considerate about a lot of stuff. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, some people work at night, some people work early morning, some people, they don't want to disturb you. And that also lets you know that it's gone. So, what's the difference? One picks. No, they just pick it up. They just pick it up, put it in the back, just like a tradition, just a trash. No, it's not a lot of people stealing. Like I say, like in Japan, like crime is like ridiculously low. Like it's like for anything to happen, I'm like it does happen, but for anything to happen, you have to go out and find. Like if you get into something, you got to go look for it, literally, like and figuratively. Like you got to go look for it. Like if you get into anything, it's your fault 90% of the time, and even if it's not your fault, you know what I'm saying? That's like that 10% of not your fault. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you put yourself in a situation where you got into some foolishness. So crime is, like, ridiculously low. Like, you know what I mean? Like, the people that actually steal are, like, old people. Like, old people. Like, because they ain't got nothing else to do. Like, if they're, like old and they hurting for money or whatever, they're still, like, even in Japan. Like, the city that I live in is about... on the light side because it's so condensed in Japan, you see all these houses like right next to each other, right? So let me just show you this. Like you got a house right there. Now, most of these houses are businesses. Okay, so like this house that's next to my house, like that house that's like right there, that's a house, but it's also an insurance company. And this house on the side is a business where they take care of older people. And this apartment building right here, the bottom floor is actually a business and the people that own it. And then there's another house, but then there's a workshop like right there that sells old carpenter tools. And then right next to that shop is a tofu shop. Like the guy makes tofu. This right here, the people live upstairs, but it is a business. So if you ever check your ramen, that little white fish cake with the swirl, that's a fish cake. That's what they make. That's what they make. This house is here, and they own the post office that's right here. So every house is pretty much a business. That right there is a doctor's office right there. With that man standing outside right there, that's the doctor's office. He lives upstairs, and that's his office, like right there, and that is his pharmacy that's next door, like right there. So, you know what I'm saying? So every place here is in this area because this is actually a business district. So every place in this area, like even my house, is actually slated for a business. So the people that the landlord that owns this house, he used to run a business out of his house, like a construction business or whatever he does. So you know that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Um, but what I was about to say is, if you see all these houses, right? And I don't know if you can see the hills. You see up there in the hills right there. See all those houses up there in the hills, and you can see all these houses lined up down this block, right? So I'm not even in a 1% of the city that I live in. So if you can imagine the density of all these houses just lined up, just like splattered everywhere, right? Like just everywhere, right? So I live in a city where there's like 1.5 million people, and it's a small place. It's like a really, really small place for a city. Um, so we only have a total of four homeless people. Four homeless people. That's it. Straight up. Four homeless people. It's crazy. It's like four homeless people. And then people in Japan are homeless by choice, not by force. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? Everybody has a job. Like, there's no excuse for you not to have a job as a Japanese person. Foreign is a different story. But Japanese person, no excuse for you not to have a job. Yeah, I'm like, there's big jails, you know what I'm saying? But it's like jail in Japan ain't like it is in the States. Like jail in Japan is you don't want to go to Japanese jail. I had some friends they went to Japanese jail for like 4 months. Like I had a homeboy, he went to Japanese jail for 2 years. I didn't even know he went to jail. I just didn't see him no more one day. And then he popped up and this dude was like when I last time I saw him, the dude was like he was always like he was about like maybe 6 feet, but he was about like 240. Next time I saw him, this dude was like 175 in the best shape of his life, and his Japanese was fluent. And I was like, yo, what happened, man? They locked me up, bro. I said, what? He said, yeah. He told me what happened. I was like, ooh. I was like, ooh. He said, yeah, he went to jail. He said, man, it was terrible, bro. It was terrible, bro. Terrible. You know, he had that look like, I was like, man, like, in America, when you go to jail, it's like a prison system. Like, they ain't trying to reform you. In Japan, you go to jail, you will be reformed. You will be reformed. You will be reformed. Like, like you're allowed to, if you smoke, you're allowed to smoke one cigarette a day. Um, they give you the basic meal possible. You get letters once a month. They read your mail. Um, they tell you to sit up, do this. When you in jail, you work. You just don't sit there and don't do nothing. You work. They actually pay you. Like they actually pay you. Like when he got out of jail, he had like a substantial amount of money. And then once you're done, unless you didn't kill anybody or something like that, and, you know what I'm saying? He was selling some drugs, doing some shit he wasn't supposed to do. You know what I mean? He came all the way over here to do the same dumb shit he was doing back home. Um, and they release you. But the thing is you can go get a job. Like they don't hold that in your record. They don't hold it against you. You know what I'm saying? It's like you know not to do it again. You know what I mean? And they're very respectful. They ain't in there like just kicking you in the face and beating you down or nothing like that. But that's one of the bad. Like the good part, Japan is real safe. The bad part, you go to jail. The ugly part, you don't want to go to jail. You don't want to go to Japanese jail. You don't want to go. You going to jail. You're not going. You know what I mean? Criminals go to jail now. They come back. They come out smarter and stronger. Like you going to jail. Like you know what I mean? Like of course give you the whatever. But nah, man, just it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? So Yeah, you ain't got to worry about crime here. It does happen. It's occasionally, especially if you're a foreigner. Like it rarely happens. You know what I mean, to us. Like usually, if anything, we're the ones doing some of the crimes. Like not as many as Japanese doing because they outnumber us. But if you get what I'm saying, um, yeah. So really relatively safe. The other thing about Japan, if you notice all these businesses, they got like the best places to eat are the mom and pop shops. You know what I mean? Where the person's like, you know what I mean? That's what they do. They just make that thing or whatever. But you gotta be used to carrying cash. You used to be carrying cash. Yeah, and that's Shadow Dio. Yeah, you asked the question. Here we go. Um, yes, frowned upon. Tipping in Japan. Tipping in Japan is frowned upon in restaurants, places of business, whatever, but not in bars. Okay, it is highly encouraged in bars. What I mean, they have a tip jar or whatever, but in restaurants and stuff like that, it is highly in businesses. Now, what they will accept if someone gave you some great customer service and looked out for you, what most Japanese do is they'll go buy something like some drinks or something, or they'll what I mean buy some candy or something for people for the store staff as a whole and just give it to them. I've seen a lot of even when I worked my first job in Japan outside of being in the military was working in retail. I worked in a phone store. I was a sales rep for one of the carriers over here. I was actually the first non-Japanese person to do that. So I worked for directly for the major carrier. And we would help customers all the time, and they would come back and they'd bring us like if it was wintertime, they'd bring us these hot coffees out the vending machines and everything. But yeah, tipping in Japan, you don't. It's against. It's like against their honor code because if they wanted to make more money, they should have got a better job. They just take it, and they'll chase you down the street. I remember like I left a tip one time and they came and ran and chased me down the street, gave my money back, and I was like, no, it's a tip. I was like, no, no, they can't accept it. And my friend told me like, nah, man, you don't tip in Japan. They find that rude and offensive. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, tipping in Japan, no tipping in Japan. Nobody. You know what I'm saying? I had to get used to it when I went back to the States because they looked at me like I stole their lunch money because I just paid my bill and it was like, I mean, the waitress got mad at my wife because I told her to pay the bill and I was going to tip. I wasn't, what I mean, like, and then I came back from the bathroom and she said, yeah, that lady just got mad at me because she looked at the bill. She said, where's the tip? And I was like, my husband controls the money, where's the tip? And I was like, what? She said, yeah. I was like, okay. And when she brought it back, brought my the bill back, I said, I usually don't use my card to tip. I usually give money. Like I usually put the $20 in there. I get it cash because I know how it works. If you use your card, the restaurant will take more money. So if you just give the person cash and put it in there, they'll get it. Exactly. I said, but because she had an attitude, I said, here's a tip for you. Look both ways before crossing the street and don't smoke in bed. I saw this and I left. You know what I mean? And I understand how food service works, and I understand, a lot of people don't get paid because the restaurants are always, being a waitress and stuff. But you shouldn't have a bad attitude. But I made sure I did it after I already ate my meal and whatever. Don't be talking. Don't be talking. don't be talking side. Just running your mouth. To somebody at a restaurant, no matter how much they have an attitude, because they'll give you a number six. I mean, they'll drop your food on the floor in the little crusty, grudgy part, and then they'll give it to you, and then you be eating full crud, they in the back laughing at you. Hey, I used to be on a ship. I done seen, some of these dudes, what I mean, that work, what I'm saying, that work feeding people, and people done gave them nasty attitudes, and they done gave them a number six. What you don't want is a number nine. I done seen it. A dude give somebody a number nine. And number nine is he take it in the he go and take the patty in the bathroom with him and come back and you got some real protein, some kids, some vitamins and minerals you didn't really want. You know what I'm saying? And yeah. So don't. That's one thing. Don't be angry. What I mean? Don't be. No matter how bad a person has an attitude. make sure if you can't stand it, then just that's okay. Cancel your order and just leave. Or if the service you ate the food and the service was not up to your standards, do it after and make it be known in a professional way afterwards. Don't do it while they serving you your meal or they gonna be having fun, at your expense. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I'm always respectful to people, even if they're having, if the service is, if the person just got a bad attitude, everybody have a bad day at work. You know what I mean? I'm more, my wife, nah, she don't play that because, she's used to service in Japan. Like, you can talk to them sideways and they get on their horse. They won't do that in Japan because it's honest that customer service, they take it to the highest. All right. So, any more questions? Any more questions? Yeah, we got any more questions? Any more questions? All right. So open the floor for these questions real quick. Once again, salute to everybody that came through, checked out the stream. The stream will get better and better. If y'all want me to talk about anything for the next stream will be. It's Monday for you guys. It's Monday, right? Yeah. So it's Monday for you guys, which is Tuesday for me. So Monday. So if I do it Thursday for me, then that will be Wednesday for you guys. So my streams for you guys will be Monday and Wednesday, which will be Tuesday and Thursday for me. I think this time is pretty cool. You know what I'm saying? I might slide it back maybe an hour, so everybody be settled in and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Maybe slide it back by 30 minutes, like 7:30, 7 o'clock. Did this work for everybody? What about schools in Japan for you? Schools in Japan for my kids is really good. Good thing about Japanese schools, they're good with education. You know what I mean? Because they don't just throw a whole bunch of stuff. They spoon feed you the knowledge. The bad part about Japanese schools are their rigidness with a lot of things. Of course, my kids are not Japanese, so especially when it comes to the hair department, Japan, I mean, they don't, what I'm saying. So, my son, what I'm saying, the youngest one, the older two, they're already grown, but the youngest one, he has real curly hair, like really, really curly hair. So we have to make sure, he has the proper moisturizer, what I'm saying? Hair got to look luxurious, look luxurious and stuff like that, look luxurious. So he's got really, really curls and stuff like that. So, he was going to school, and we got him some shea butter moisturizer. It's really nice. I'm like, but it has a strong smell. Most black hair products have that. The smell is great, but it's really overpowering sometimes. Especially, even if you use a lot, you can smell it. It smells good, but you know what I'm saying. So in Japan, like I said, they're super conservative. So what he did, he put some in his hair, and I was meaning to talk to my wife about it because when I smelt it, I was like, man, that's going to be a little bit too strong. But he went to school. So my wife, in the evening, me and her talked, and I said, what's going on? Because she was very angry about something. She was talking to my son. They was talking in Japanese, and I was like, hey, what's going on? And she was like, she didn't really want to tell me. I was like, what happened? Did he do something? Like, what's going on? You know what I'm saying? What do you do? You know what I'm saying? He get, because he's like, he's a teenager, he's in middle school. So I'm thinking, it's a daddy moment. You know what I'm saying? Throw them bows. You know what I'm saying? But, but what happened was, he was in school. The teacher said his hair smelled too strongly, and they told him to wash it out of his hair. And because, it's shea butter and stuff like that, it was still in his hair. The smell was still staying. And it's not like it stank. It smelled really good. And they told him to wash his hair with hand soap in the bathroom, like what you use to wash your hair with hand soap. And when my wife told me that, I was like, so I was walking towards the door, and she was like, "Where you going?" I was like, "I'm about to go to school. We about to put some hands on some people." And she's like, "Nah," she said they're coming to the house. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So she said they're coming to the house. So the teacher and the vice principal came to the house. She already spoke to the principal. She called the school, spoke to the principal. The principal didn't know what happened, right? And he was like, "Oh, I'm so sorry." So he apologized. The vice principal brought the teacher to the house, and we had a conference. And we talked about it and stuff like that because once again, they don't know. I was angry as hell, but um, I had to step back just a second because you know my son, what I mean, like in that school, in that school about in that middle school about 700 kids. When I went to the sports day, there were only four non-Japanese kids in that school, and my son was one of them, right? And and this is in a place where there's the bases and there's a lot of mixed kids. So you have to understand a lot of things is, and out of all those kids, is my son is more culturally diverse because a lot of the mixed kids, their moms are either single moms or two of them were single moms that were Japanese, but the dad wasn't around for whatever reason. The other child was she was female, but her dad was there because I know he's African, wife's Japanese. But a lot of times, if especially when they're black, you get three different types of hair textures, right? You get the real curly hair texture. You get the um, you get the nice afro like type of hair texture. Then you get that we call it crabgrass hair where you gotta really know what you're doing, and then if the dad is not around to institute that part of the blackness, like certain things you can't do. You can't wash your hair every day. There's certain things I had to teach my wife, about the youngest one because his hair texture. So you gotta you have to really moisturize the scalp. We don't wash our hair every damn day because it'll pull all the oils out of the head and stuff like that. And and you have to institute those things. Like my son, like I be getting him like it be wintertime. I'm like, man, you look ashy. You need to put on some lotion, bro. Like, you put some lotion. Oh, you know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? So, and they're raising the children like they're Japanese, and so they don't know, and I use that as a lesson to teach the differences between cultures, and they were willing to accept the differences and stuff, and that was the ugly part. And I told him, my son felt like, how would you feel if someone told you to wash your hair with hand soap that you would use to wash your hands after using the toilet? Like, how can he trust you as a teacher? You know what I'm saying? And whatever. And you know what I'm saying? And teacher apologized and it was whatever. Now, he wears his stuff and nobody says nothing. He can do whatever the hell he want. You know what I'm saying? And they leave him alone. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I did, man. I did, man. You know what I'm saying? That was, that was my reaction. And just to be honest with you, man, I was like, Devon, get the table. Oh shit, I said that on there. Fuck it, whatever. But yeah, but that's the good and the bad and the ugly about living in another country. You got to understand certain things, especially the mixture of cultures and stuff. Especially when you're the true minority. Like you're not, what I mean. You're the true minority. You know what I mean. Exactly, right? Hey, what's going on? Let's talk classic hip hop. What's going on? Hit the like button as you enter. Do we have any more questions? You know what I'm saying? But I hope that now. What's going on? What's going on, man? How's Thailand? T Brewski, what's cracking with you? What's cracking with you? T Brewski's in there, 3D. Yeah. But yeah, information, man. But as far as that, man. Other than that, that was it's like every last one of my kids, it was in middle school, they ran into one thing. It was one teacher. It was always one time, and then you had to check them. And the principal, because all my other two children went through the same middle school, when we called up there, he was like, oh, God. because he already knew. You know, you talking to me, and I'm like, we, you know what I'm saying? Like we, another thing about Japanese schools is Japanese parents allow teachers to raise their kids. So, especially with discipline, children are actually afraid of their teachers more than they're afraid of their parents. So it's like old school back in like the early. I remember in the '80s we had this teacher called Mr. B, right? And he used to have these tape rulers, and if you did something wrong, he'd tell you put your hands out there, and he'd smack your hands, right? And I did something wrong in school, and he smacked my hands, and my mom found out. And my mom went up to the school and told that man if he ever put his hands on me, she'd come out the top rope on him. And he ain't never put his hands on me again, ever. He said, "I'm gonna call your mama," and that was enough, to shake foundations and stuff. So, bye bye. So, yeah. So that's yeah. So yeah. So yeah, that was my middle son. He was going to work. Yeah, he's late for work. Black people always late for something, man. Oh man, holidays in Japan. Holidays in Japan. Actually, we just had a holiday yesterday, Monday. For you guys, I guess y'all have this is Columbus Day or whatever. But holidays in Japan, there's almost a holiday every month, but they put holidays in weird days. Like you'll have a holiday on a Thursday and gotta go back and work on Friday. Where like in America, we always put our holidays on a Monday, so you have a 3-day weekend. They don't do that in Japan. You know, they need to start just putting a holiday on a Monday so people have a 3-day weekend, but they don't do it. But you usually get a bunch of holidays. Now, if you're talking about Americanized holiday like Thanksgiving, regular day. Um, if Halloween, oh, they go in hand for Halloween. They go in hand for Halloween. Uh, you know what I'm saying? Like they go in hand for Halloween. How should I say it? Let's say Christmas. They do Christmas, but it's more like they just get a gift and they give like me one or two gifts and that's it. Um, but like I remember my first Christmas in Japan, I was on the base, so I was like, man, I'm over here for Christmas. This sucks, right? Ain't nothing to do, so I'm walking around base because Christmas time, man. You walk around on Christmas Day, you feel like a real loser, right? Like you ain't got no family or no nobody, you know what I'm saying? Like so you just man, whatever, right? And I decided to go out and say, I'm gonna eat some dinner. I'm gonna just get off the ship and Happy Christmas, Merry Christmas to myself, right? And when I walked out the gate, I felt worse of a loser because Japan was like, it's a regular day, homie. They just like it was like night and day from the base to off the base, and that just made me feel even worse because, hey, like it ain't Christmas out here. It's a regular day, homie. You know what I'm saying? So, certain holidays, Valentine's Day. On Valentine's Day in Japan, women give men gifts. It's not the other way around, and then they also have on uh, they have White Day, which is the 14th of March, is then when the men give the women gifts. So that's a little change. But holidays in Japan are pretty cool. They're more like the festival type. They do a bond twice a year, which that's when you go back to the area that's where you're originally from. You basically clean off the grave site of your ancestors and people that died, and you give an offering to them, celebrate their life, um, and they have all these festivals and stuff like that. It's better to be more strict than not. Yeah, that's true. Exactly. That is true. That is true. How do people take care of their hair? I'm like I said, there ain't that many of us over here. So if you count how many black people that there are over here, you got different pockets and stuff like that. Like you know what I'm saying. So what I learned to do, especially with these right here, I gotta actually twist my hair. But soon I got all this new growth going on. What we usually do, what I usually do is you get in these groups. They have groups on Facebook, and you join these groups, and everybody gives hair care. Like you ask a question, and what I'm saying I'm part of like a Black in Japan group, and Black Creatives Group, and they'll give like hair care stuff. And I jump on YouTube, natural ways to moisturize your hair, because I'm not in the States. I can't go to the local Korean beauty store and grab the black products and throw them in my hair and be like, okay, so I can't do that. So I have to go, what I'm saying? I have to go and figure out some things. And actually, I like the natural way of moisturizing my hair. What I do is they have a Camilla oil, which is a plant that's like nice oily base, but it's not like super thick, right? It's thin, it's nice. And what I do is I make my own moisturizers and stuff out of pure virgin olive oil, Camilla oil. In the summertime, I use coconut oil. I don't use coconut oil when it's cold, like it's below about 60 degrees, because it'll get all white and clumpy. So it doesn't look good, but in the summertime it's good. So I switch out between the summer when I put it on my scalp, moisturize my hair. I get shampoos with moisturizers, great conditioners in them. Like I spend extra money for the good conditioners and stuff like that. I have three types of shampoos. This is just for my locks. But for a lot of sisters, when they come over here, they are forced to be natural because for you to get the usual hairstyles with the braids and all of that, it's expensive over here. You pay for some. I remember a sister was trying to pay for some braids over here, and she wanted to get her hair done, and she dropped $400, $500, to get the weave in there. And I told her, I said, look, it'd be better if you just suck it up and grow your hair out and stay natural, and when your hair get longer. And after about a year or two, after she weaned herself off of them perms and all that other crazy crap, her hair was natural. It was flowing. Her hair was moisturized, and then she was getting her hair braided by one of her friends. So it'll wean you off. It'll wean you off. Yeah, Austin goes ham. Yeah, Halloween. Yeah, it's crazy. I would expect it. All those. It's Day of the Dead. Y'all got a lot of Mexicans down there, don't you? You got a lot of Mexicans down there. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, y'all got a lot of Mexicans down there. Okay. Let's see, T. Brewski, do you find raising your children in Japan to be a bit difficult? I mean, raising them in the U.S. where it's because of cultural differences? No, nah, T. Brewski, no, it's actually easier because I ain't got to worry about nobody kicking in the door, shooting up a school because somebody bullied them or they lost in a video game or something like that. So it's actually real easy to raise my kids. I'm actually allowed to let them be a little bit more free. You know what I'm saying? To do things and go places. Like my youngest son, the oldest son, we would put him on the train with the middle one, and the oldest one was 8, the middle one was 6, and the youngest one was 2. And we would put them on the bullet train by themselves, and they would go all the way to Toyohashi, to Aichi. That's like a 90-minute bullet train. You know what I'm saying? So if it was on a regular train, it'd be like 3.5 to 4 hours by themselves with no worries. Nobody going to do nothing to them. So that's, you know what I'm saying? So that's just, you know what I mean? Like, just the only thing that I would say is the cultural difference that's a little bit harder is showing them that the world isn't Japan. Japan is super safe, right? So Japan does not, conform to the real world because we're not going to live here forever. You know what I'm saying? We're going to move and go somewhere else or whatever. So we do have houses and stuff in England and in Scotland. So, when I get to the point where this is cool, we're going to move because it's already paid for. I get tired of paying for stuff. So we're going to move. So it's not the real world. So I want to show them that you have to have your sixth sense around you and be on your P's and Q's because the world isn't as safe as Japan is. You know what I'm saying? The world isn't as safe as Japan is. It's shout out to you. Interested. Let's see. Barbershop. Barbershop in Japan. You you have to find somebody that can cut hair. Now, fortunately for me, there's a brother that I support. His name is Foreign Cuts. He has an IG, he has an Instagram. Um, for Foreign Cuts. This is his name on IG. Um, on IG. And he is a person, is a brother over here that started going mobile barber, just going to people's houses, cutting their hair. Really good, really talented brother. And he opened up his barber shop over here. So there's a few places where they have a barber shop. What I usually suggest that anybody do that's black is most of the time you see most Africans have their hair cut really well in different countries, especially in Asia. So the best thing to do is walk up to an African and ask them, "Hey, brother, where do you get your hair cut? Like, who cuts your hair?" And they have somebody to cut hair and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? They got a person today, you know what I'm saying, that's good at cutting hair, just like, anything else. You got to get into the community, it's because you're an immigrant at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta start thinking with an immigrant mentality, that you have to be involved into the community and stuff like that. So that's how you can catch fade. You know what I'm saying? Barbershops are here. Like barbershops in Japan is like old school. Like you go there to get a shave, like a nice shave. You go there to do, what I mean? They do the whole works, and everything else. So, like, you know what I mean? But I would say do that. No, Japanese barbers, I'm like, black people don't really understand how special it is to cut your hair. Like, we got swirls going here and pattern going there and over here. So, cutting straight hair is easier than cutting our hair because there's different grains and patterns and stuff like that. People we take it for granted as black people, because we just expect it, but you don't really realize how hard it is for people to cut our hair if they're not used to cutting our hair. And you don't want to go there and have a bowl or something. So I learned real quick. A lot of times, like I learned how, I have locks and stuff like that because I have them. But I learned how to trim myself up. You know what I'm saying? Trim myself up. You know what I mean? Hey, you might not have that fresh cut, but you ain't looking raggedy. So sometimes, what I'm saying, mother all inventions, get that guard, put that on there, and hook it up. I got to get my line. You know what I'm saying? Pretty solid myself. You know what I'm saying? Pretty solid. Let's see, barbershop. Let's see. Yep, Neon Eyes, you are right. Hair is best when you leave it alone. You gotta moisturize it though. You gotta, groom it, take care of it. You can't be looking like you just woke up. All Mexicans are in El Paso and San Antonio. We have a lot of Africans and Indians here. A lot of Islanders too. Lots of Asians here. Okay, yeah. I was like, somebody was in there. Okay, Austin, yeah. So yeah, y'all going hard. Hey, what's going? Hey, I got your message, E. You know what I'm saying? I got your message. You know what I'm saying? So I'm putting that together for you. And actually, I'm gonna do a stream about that, and then I'm gonna reply to you with those books and stuff for your friends to go look at it. So I got your message. It's not that I didn't see it. I saw it. I was just got a little bit busy. I was actually gonna make a stream about that, and I was gonna get that to you. So here's my email address. I'm gonna put this right here in the chat. Send me an email with your question again, so I can just message that directly to you. So I can message that directly to you. You know what I'm saying? So, all right. So we're gonna do a rapid fire Q&A. I've been on here. I started at 7:30. It is actually 9. Oh man, it's actually 9. But this has been good, man. You know what I'm saying? This has been good. I try to keep streaming at least about 90 minutes. You know what I'm saying? Not to be on here too long. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do a rapid fire. You know what I'm saying? Okay, cool, no problem. I'm gonna do rapid fire Q&A. Give me some quick questions so I can give you some quick answers. Anything that you would like to know, this is, you know what I'm saying. Pretty much, it doesn't have to do nothing with the title. Anything that you would like to know about myself. If it's too personal, I just tell you I ain't gonna answer that. If it's something that you would like to know, I would, you know what I'm saying. You know what I mean. Just answer the question if you want to know about myself or whatever like that. Or just, you know, just ask me just straight up questions. You know what I'm saying. So let's go. Let's fire away. Do I like sake? Not at first, but now I do certain types of sake. Me, I'm more akin to the hot sake than the cold sake. Kubota is probably the best one that I like. And then there's one from Hokkaido. There's different types of sakis, you know what I'm saying? But I like Kubota, and I like this one from Hokkaido. It's like a sweet, more sweet. Yeah, you can drink it warm or you can drink it warm or cold. I like it warm. They warm it up. What they do is, if you ever see the little sake sets where they got the little long bottle that it's in, and they got the little cups, right? What they actually do is they take that cup and they have the hot water or whatever, and then they take the bottle and they put it in that water, and then it'll warm it up, and then they put it, and then you pour it and you drink it. I like it warm. It brings out the flavor better when it's warm, but it's got to be like the right temperature. It can't be like scalding hot or something like that. Yeah, yeah, it's got to be, you know what I'm saying? Especially in the wintertime. Oh, man, that's great. That's great. It's great. And if you eat it with a traditional meal, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you eat it with some, I like me, I don't eat raw fish because I just had, the first time I ate sushi was when I was in Virginia for my birthday, and then I had food poisoning for 2 days. So I just don't eat raw fish anymore. It has to be cooked for myself. But if you eat it with sashimi, a traditional meal, like I'll eat it with a broiled fish, I'll drink it with a broiled fish or traditional Japanese meal. For some reason, it brings out the taste better than if you eat it with anything else. It has that. You gotta have the whole set. It's just you don't do it justice just sitting there. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Um, yeah. Try it out. Just try it out. Just try it warm. If they do it right, you know what I mean. But make sure you know you take it with your meal. You know what I'm saying. And it's really good. And you don't need that much. Like sake, you do not need that much. So you watch yourself. You know what I mean. Make sure you call yourself an Uber because it's warm. It's going to go through your bloodstream faster. You know what I'm saying. Yeah. So you'll be leaning real quick. Um. Well, you got certain places that they're just known for it. Far as are you talking about sake? Or are you talking about um, are you talking about sake, or are you talking about like just wine itself in general, like wine grapes and stuff like that? But if you're talking about sake, you would probably say the southern part of Japan, Kuzumoto, and you know the southern part where the rice grows the most. Um, you know what I'm saying? And you're talking about the Hokkaido because they usually make sake is made from rice, from rice. Um, you got, and then you do have your wines. You do have your plum wines and stuff like that. So usually from the southern regions of Japan, that's where sake itself. Wine itself. I haven't really taken like Japanese. Like the crazy thing is the one thing that you wouldn't think that they make great is actually whiskey. Um, uh, Hibiki 17 is like $200 to $400, right? Like I wasn't a whiskey drinker until I was like, going to a cigar lounge with these brothers, and we would talk politics and stuff. And they put me on because I would drink. I'm a Hennessy guy. I'm a Hennessy guy, Hennessy dude. On rare occasions, if there's no Hennessy, I go with some Remy, but I'm more of a Hennessy dude or a Desperano. or Cavassier guy. But they put me on Johnny Walker Platinum, and then they put me on Hibiki 17, and then 17, 18, and 21. Hibiki is the best whiskey in the world. You can drink it straight. You can taste everything. If you talk about conversoring, tasting of alcohol, like I don't drink to get drunk. I drink for taste. If I'm gonna kill myself, I'm at least enjoy it, right? So yeah, but wine is not really their forte. It's more the beers, lagers, malts, and sake and plum wines and stuff like that, and sochus. Oh, okay. When do you normally live stream, man? Just woke up. I feel like I miss. You know how it is for us. So I think it is. I started the stream at 7:25. I started the stream at 7:25. T Brewski. So 7:25. That would be 6 in the morning for you. So I started at 7:25 in the morning. That's when I usually start the live streams. So I might push it back an hour, so everybody can come in here because I'm just looking at it. The most and people. Yeah, they're really good at making whiskeys. Like really good. Like it's ridiculous. I think because of the barley, because they don't use as much wheat as you would think they would use. So like they don't use a lot of wheat as you think they would use. So you know what I mean, use it for something else. First time you had wine, your shortest time. It depends on what type of wine you drinking. Neon Eyes be having some good wine. She be drinking. She be on the wine tip. What I usually tell people to do, cause when I started drinking wine, there's a difference. You just got to know the difference between wet and dry. Like wet wine is more sweeter. Dry wine is more kind of sour, but the taste doesn't linger. So when you drink it, you taste it, it's gone. Right? It's there and it's gone. Wet wine lingers. The taste still lingers. It's more sweeter, and then you got to know what region it's coming from. Like if you get like people like, oh, this wine is Italian, it must be good. Not necessarily because Italian wines do better when they're sweeter. French wines do better. Italian wines do better when they're wet. French wines do better when they're dry. Um, Wines from South Africa are pretty much even across the board. Your South American wines, like from Chile or Argentina, um, you know what I'm saying, are pretty good. And then you have your ones from Spain that are really good. Um, you have some wines from Australia that are pretty good, and California, and those regions. But what you should do is the fail-safe wine is Pinot Noir. Pinot Noir is like the fail-safe wine. Like if you don't know what wine to get and you want to make sure you don't waste your money, and it's relatively cheap. Like the most you'll pay for a bottle of Pinot Noir is like 40 to $50. But you can pay for like a $9 to $10 bottle of Pinot Noir and be fine, completely fine. Merlots and Sauvignon and Bordeaux is iffy. You got to catch them on an odd year. You got to catch the yeah. You got to know what you're doing. Yeah, some people can't do street. Hey, no problem, man. Yeah, have a good day, bro. You know what I'm saying? Going to work, knock it out. You know what I'm saying? Everybody, T Brewski in here. He's a brother that I've talked to that we had on the stream a couple of times. Me and Joe did an interview with him, and he lives in Thailand. So he lives in Thailand and stuff like that. So he's out there. Me and him talks a lot and stuff like that. Yeah, can't do sweet wines. Yeah, yeah. Pinot Noir is like in between. It's in between. But you see how wonderful it was looking earlier? No, you see the clouds. See that? Doesn't look like it's about to rain on my head. One thing about Japan, weather changes. Yeah, yeah. Just I would say like I said, you know, it's a wonderful thing is like YouTube. YouTube is a wonderful thing because it teaches you a lot and lets you know a lot. about anything. If you want to learn about the subject and stuff like that. But yeah, like when I brought a cigar and I didn't like it because I went to the cigar lounge and what I'm saying what I call the elders because the older guys that live here, they've been here way longer than me. They've been here like way longer than me, and they taught me a lot. And you know what I'm saying, and they told me, and they smoke Cuban cigars and they drink the whiskeys and we talk. And they have like two, and they taught me how, because I noticed I was transitioning from that knucklehead stage of just being out there running around. But I still wanted to get out the house, but not put myself in a bad predicament. Is there residual sugar for me? Like, I like that rich taste. She said, I like that rich taste. Like, don't be making it, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? But don't be giving that Moscato. Don't be giving me that. um, but yeah, I smoked the cigar and I didn't like it. I got my hand was hurt and they was kind of they was like and then when I said like well let me go look it up and then when I looked it up and I realized I was smoking it like you don't smoke a cigar, you puff it. You puff a cigar. You enjoy the taste. You take your time. It's a conversational piece. It's a gentleman thing. So I learned how to light my cigar the proper way. Got me a butane lighter. And then when next time we went out, I would sit there and then I understood. And then I actually enjoyed it. You know what I'm saying? I actually enjoyed it. And I actually enjoy occasional cigar and relaxing. You know what I'm saying? I don't smoke them regularly or nothing like that, but occasionally, if I want to puff or relax by whatever, I'll either do a hookah, and I have a hookah in the house, but I'll have me a shisha or something like that and relax a little bit, or I'll have a cigar and drink on something and chill out. You know what I'm saying? All right. So before we end this, I want to ask everybody who is in the Osweed in Japan. Expensive as hell, and you going to jail. That's how weed is in Japan. It's $50 to $100 a gram, and if they catch you with it, your ass going to jail for 2 years and getting deported. That's how weed is in Japan. And they don't sell no less than 10 grams at a time. Yeah. So you take that 50 times 10 for 10 grams, or that 100 times 10 for 10 grams, you could have flew to Cali or Guam and back and back. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not saying that I don't partake. Anyway, so hey, I had a dude do it. He went to jail real quick. Didn't like it. That's that dude I was talking about. But yeah, exactly. I'm like if you really want to smoke that bad, you could go to Cambodia, Vietnam, or something, or Guam. Guam is a U.S. territory. It's legal in Guam. You know what I'm saying? Like you go to Amsterdam or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Like Japan is, even though weed grows here like easily, like it grows here like easily, but hey, certain things that's the bad, that's the ugly, that's the bad, and ugly part. Ain't even worth it. Some days I do want to just sit back and roll me a good one. Like my wife, she went to Italy and they got like weed and vending machines and shit. She said that she sent me. I was like hate. But anyway, um, so before we end this, who watched the UFC fight? Is anybody into the UFC? Watching the UFC? See that Conor McGregor action? And I think the next time that I do my stream, We're gonna talk about that and about sports, like how to stay up with sports if you're into sports. And of course, for my anime people, we're gonna have an anime section and stuff like that. But I appreciate everybody coming through. Like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell notification if you have it. I'll take what time is it? I'll take a couple of more. Let's do some couple of more questions. But if anybody want to talk about that Conor McGregor fight, drop some stuff in there. Let's do that. But if not, I'm gonna be out. Open the floor up, you know what I mean? Because you know what I'm saying. And there's other. Hey, in the Batcave, is there anybody on any streams? Yeah, I'm glad he won, man. I'm tired of that dude, man. And then the media tried to cover for him, tried to make it like it was the other dude's fault. Like this dude a couple of months ago didn't attack a bus with this dude with his family in there and broke some glass and got in the dude's eye and he couldn't fight, messing up people's money. America, right? America, right? So anyway, if anything, yay, thanks. Hey, thank you, Dion. Thank you, Dion. Hey, you got to do your stream. We got to do, you know what I'm saying? When you doing your stream? When you doing your stream? When you doing your live stream? Everybody go subscribe to Dion's channel if you haven't. Thanks everybody for coming through. Shadow DO87. Eve, thanks for coming through. Gigi, Woman of the Past, thank you for coming through. T. Brewski, everybody that came through to show love and support. Information Man, thank you again, once again. Jay Sean Randoms, everybody that came through. I much and greatly appreciate everything and the love and support from everybody. Hit the like if you didn't. If you're watching, please say something into the comments. I'm going to be out. Okay, Neon Eyes, is she going to do one at least once a week? Okay, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, we're going to definitely support her. We want to support everybody, you know, bringing love, peace, and positivity. Thank you once again, everyone. The channel will only grow and get better for your support. Thank you all. Once I get my computer, you know, laptop back and rolling, we will show more content, pre-recorded videos and stuff like that. And then I'll host a hangout maybe pretty soon. But I am out. Y'all have a beautiful, I think it's evening and afternoon for you guys. Y'all have a wonderful evening and afternoon. I'm going to start the rest of my day. Tuesday in the future is looking very wonderful. And for everybody, hey, yeah, I'm looking forward to your email.